Hello. Over the last few weeks, I've been travelling around the company quite a lot and bringing people up to speed with what our plans are. And seeing as I can't speak to everyone, I thought this is a good opportunity for me to explain our 2020 vision and some of the things that are happening in the company. As always, last year was an amazing year. It was actually a record year. We did more new owners joined our clubs than ever before. Our sales were record, our resorts recorded record business, and particularly at the end of the year it was extremely positive. Going into this year, our budgets reflect that, and we anticipate this to be our new best ever year, going into our 27th year of operation. So if I go around our universe to give you an update on what's happening, if we start in India, which is where everything began, and is one of our heartlands, of course. In India, in Goa itself, we are redeveloping Hatti Mahal. Some of you may know that the villas in the garden are all being upgraded as fractional units, and we just commenced in phase 3 on that one now, so soon all 80 will be upgraded to a fantastic level. I was staying there a couple of weeks back, and I also stayed in Mumbai at some of the top 5-star hotels in India, and what really impressed me is there's no question whatsoever that our new units are better than any of those top 5-star hotels, and I think if they're not the best in India, they're certainly the best in Goa. The plan is at Hatti Mahal to continue that. They've been tremendously popular. Owners have loved our new style, our design, and we'll not only develop all of the villas in the garden by the pool, but we'll soon go into the main building and develop the entire hotel, as well as looking at the restaurants and bars and health clubs and what have you. Elsewhere in Goa, we are trying to get planning approval on our new piece of land next to Benalim. We believe it's going to be quite quick to get that approval, and when that's done, we're going to build a whole new resort. The intention will be it'll be a combination of holiday ownership, hotel, and probably real estate, so it'll be a true mixed use development. It'll probably be about 40 units when we finish it, along with bars and restaurants and all the usual amenities, and that's going to sit right next to the existing Benalim property. So our plan is to redevelop Benalim. We started this a couple of years ago, and that'll be fully done in the next 18 months. And the other 2 resorts that we have in Goa will follow on pretty swiftly. So if we look at Goa in, say, 3 years from now, it'll be a very different animal than it was a couple of years ago, and it'll be brought up to truly 5-star quality. And obviously our owners very much like that. Elsewhere in India, we continue to grow. I'm very bullish on India. I think it's got huge opportunity, both from people wanting to visit from outside and for the local market, which is obviously growing at an enormous rate. We're in Jaipur, as you know, and in Kerala, both resorts extremely popular. We opened up last year in Dharamshala, which is in the Himalayas, where the Dalai Lama is actually exiled, and that's proven to be a great hit. And our most recent resort was in Sitabani, and I was talking to one of my managers the other day, and as you may know, it's by the Jim Corbett National Park, where they believe there's 4,000 wild tigers left in the world. 400 of them live in this national park, and my manager took out his phone and showed me a picture because he had to get an early morning plane. He left in the middle of the night, and there were 3 tigers walking down the road, not even on the park, just all trotting down the road. So it's a fantastic place. I've yet to visit it, to be honest, but I'm looking forward to going up there and seeing tigers for myself. They're clearly a magnificent animal. Elsewhere in India, we intend to do many more resorts. Our plan is 2 a year. We're currently looking at a property outside Jaisalmer, which is in Rajasthan, and we've got some other sites there. So expect to see a lot of growth in India. It's where we started back in 1993, and it really excites me enormously of the potential. Moving further east, Bali is our other heartland, of course, where again we've been for 26 years. Kandara, our magnificent resort there, we recently redeveloped the beach club. Some of you may have seen it. It's been brought up to speed, it's been enlarged. We've tried to keep the boho chic sort of barefoot luxury style without going too modern or upmarket. And our plans are to further extend it onto the other side of the beach. That is happening, I believe, virtually now, and certainly by the summer that'll be complete. We put a new travelator in, so the whole beach club has been improved, and I like that a lot. I was there at New Year with my family having a fantastic party down on the beach, and we love the beach club. Elsewhere, at the piece of land we own next to Kandara, the new apartment block is up to the roof level. I went up to the top, and I must say, I having developed it, I didn't anticipate how magnificent the views are. The people that purchased there got a very good deal, I think, because if I'd known how beautiful it was, we'd probably have raised the price on those top few floors. But there's going to be 30 apartments going in. Be ready by the end of the year. We've got a brand new interior design on it, which is very sort of bit more modern and stylish, and that'll be preceded, or not preceded. That'll be followed on by another apartment block and some more villas, and we're putting a new pool in the back, we're putting a new spa in, a new reception, we got a bit of a conference centre going in, yoga ballet, new kids club. So Kandara, again, has been a great success. When I bought the land 15 years ago, people thought I was crazy, and I didn't anticipate just quite what happened to the Bukit. Now, of course, they call it Billionaires Row, and every hotel is developing on that strip. We were very fortunate to buy what I think is the best piece of land at a price that we could afford 15 years ago. And so that'll continue to develop, and will continue to win accolades of being an amazing and super popular resort. Elsewhere in Bali, we are going to start developing the stiff chili land. We own a piece of land on the Bukit as you come up from the airport towards Kandara, and that'll be developed later on this year as a 40-room resort. And we're looking for other pieces of land. We're currently looking at a piece of land out near the Chandidasa resort where we hope to build, and we've got some other blocks that we want to acquire because we see Bali having a fantastic future as well. Tourism is going up and up and up each year, and it's really developing as one of the best tourist spots in the world, I believe. Just off Bali, at the Gili Islands, this is a piece of land that we bought many years ago and we developed Karma Reef on. We are planning on redeveloping it next year. I recently was very honoured and fortunate to teach at Yale in America, and the course we taught involved the students coming over to the resort and redesigning it in various styles with one eye particularly on sustainability. And I'll talk a bit more about sustainability a bit later. But we have decided to redevelop it. We are very keen to keep a low footprint on the island because it's obviously very small, it's hard to build on, it's still recovering from the earthquake last year. So we found a company in Bali where we can build these 4-bedroom wooden units which can be pre-constructed. Actually, we build it in Bali. It can be flat packed on boats, taken over and then assembled. We've committed to buy 10, so we'll be putting 40 rooms into the Gili Islands, Karma Reef, over the next 18 months, I'd anticipate, and it'll be done in a very low impact way. We'll also redevelop the beach club there and what have you. Elsewhere in Asia, Vietnam continues to be a great success. I love Hoi An. I think it's got some of the most amazing restaurants in the world. Vietnamese food really is wonderful. And we're looking for more sites in Vietnam and also in Indochina. We've had several near misses. We thought we had a resort in Laos, but it didn't work. But we would like to end up with a bit of a network so clients can go and spend a few nights in Vietnam, a few nights in Laos, a few nights in Myanmar, a few nights in Cambodia, Angkor Wat or whatever. So I'm very keen to place together several resorts so people can have a split centre holiday in that area. And of course Thailand. Thailand again has been with us since the beginning. We opened up last year in Koh Samui, which has been a fantastic success. Koh Samui, I'll tell you a secret, was the first place I ever went to in Asia when I was 20 years old. So the fact we haven't had a resort there for a few years has been a bit disappointing to me. So I'm very pleased that we're back there so I can have some savage coconut prawn curries on the beach. And so more in Thailand, without a doubt. Elsewhere in Asia, talking of savage coconut prawn curries, my other favourite place for that is Sri Lanka. And we have looked at Sri Lanka for many, many years. There's been some political problems over the years that have dissuaded us, but a couple of years ago we bought a piece of land at a place called Hikkaduwa, which is in the south near Galle. It's a mecca for surfers. It's a beautiful beach and it's got great surfing and quite a backpacky type vibe. We bought the land and I'm now confident that it's the time to develop in Sri Lanka. So we're currently getting the permits for that and we would expect to build that over the next 2 years. What we are going to do, though, because we want to get ahead of the curve in Sri Lanka, is we're looking at trying to lease an existing hotel so we can start literally in the next 3 or 4 months. We can start a sales operation there. We can allow our clients to go and stay there. We can begin to make local contacts and develop a business in tandem with actually building the resort. So the resort probably will take a couple of years, but expect to see some activity in Sri Lanka. And I think we're all going to see Sri Lanka grow very quickly as a tourist destination. The political status is pretty straight now, and I do think it's got a great future. Elsewhere in Asia, and really operating on a similar strategy to Sri Lanka, is going to be the Philippines. We own land in Palawan, which I think is the most beautiful part of the Philippines. It's in the south with magnificent beaches. And again, we're looking to do 2 things. One is to start developing that on a 2 or 3 year cycle. It's a magnificent bit of beach and it's in a great location near Puerto Princesa. But we're also looking to lease a hotel in the Philippines. So again, we can start the operation, the marketing and the sales and the local presence and allow our clients to visit there. Elsewhere in Asia, we have in Japan, of course. We've decided to hold Japan a little bit. I mean, this year I was in Japan for the Rugby World Cup recently. And it's a dynamic place, no question about it. This year is the Olympics in Tokyo. So I think we'll wait until the dust has settled a little bit before we develop our piece of land there. It's in a place called Hakuba, which is a ski resort, which is magnificent snow, and it has snow monkeys and temples and all sorts of great stuff up there. So we will develop that, but with everything else on, we've slightly parked that for the moment. Moving over to Europe, we started in Europe only a few years ago, but we now seem to have a ever-growing network of resorts. I spent Christmas in Bavaria at our resort there with my family, and I'm delighted to see the redevelopment of the units in the gardens, which is fantastically high standard. I think Bavaria is one of our sort of secrets, is that people don't understand that it's only an hour from Munich. It's got great skiing. It's tremendous value to eat out. It's got magnificent lakes and scenery and all sorts of stuff happening. So Bavaria we want to do more with, and our plans are, having finished the apartments and the villas or the chalets, we'll now redevelop the hotel itself and bring that up to a true 5-star. Elsewhere in Europe, in Carcassonne, we have spent 3 years trying to get the rezoning on the chateau that we own there in order to do a glamping resort, and I think we're going to be ready for this season. It's a few more things to go through, but we believe we are, in which case we'll start the Glamping Concept. The idea is going to be that in the grounds of the chateau, which is just outside Carcassonne, which is a magnificent medieval city, in the grounds there'll be placed tents, and the main chateau will act as a clubhouse and an honour bar and buffet lunches and breakfasts and what have you. So we would hope to get it done this summer. If not, it will be by next summer. But I'm told that we're pretty close to the permit, so we're good to go. In Crete, the resort is ready to open. And in Mykonos, we've lodged the permits to build our new hotel. As you know, we have a villa there, Pelikanos, and our plans are to build a 40-room hotel just adjacent to Pelikanos. The plans are lodged. If they'll be ready to start developing this year, I don't know, but in the medium term, I'm very positive on Mykonos and very keen to find other things around Europe as well, because I think, I'm at Greece as well, because I do think Greece is going to have a fantastic future. Elsewhere, Italy is ready to open. We purchased some more apartments in the Borgo next to it, proven to be very popular. And we have some other sites in Europe, obviously like St. Martin's, which is about to open as the season clicks in. Prévigère, our property down in the south of France, we're going to be operating as a pop-up hotel, so many clients can go and experience it and see what a fantastic property it is. And again, expect to see more happening in Europe. There's no question that Europe has got some magnificent locations, and our owners very much want to go and spend time there. So we're looking at Spain, we're looking at various destinations that we can deliver the promise. And finally, I will soon be going over to another part of the world, the Caribbean. Very keen to get something in the Caribbean. I think it's a magnificent location, and again, it will be a fantastic extra destination for us to have for our people to go to. So we'll be looking over there. Some other things which I've been speaking to people about, which I'd like to share with you, as well as the purely organic growth, which goes faster and faster every year, and we're very committed to more resorts, having more members, exceeding expectations and doing all the things that we like to do. But as well as the resorts, we are producing fantastic wine now, we're producing all sorts of goods, and really what we're trying to do is to give clients a fantastic experience, whether it be in the resorts or be when they be at home. One hot button I have at the moment, which again I've been speaking to about, is sustainability. I believe very strongly, and I think it's virtually impossible to ignore the fact that the world has quite a lot of problems, and whether one believes entirely in global warming or not in global warming, it's kind of a bit irrelevant. There is no question that there's major issues happening with the climate and the environment at the moment. And I believe very strongly, and it was Richard Branson that gave what I thought was a very good quote recently, that you shouldn't spend too much time trying to blame governments. You shouldn't spend too much time trying to affect change at the top level. If every person, if every company, if every family drew a line around themselves and their immediate people that they do business with or they interact with, and they focus on making a change of sustainability within that circle, then very soon the circles counter interact and you've solved the problem. And we at Karma are very much going to look at what we can do from a sustainability point of view. We've appointed some champions of sustainability within the company, and we've tasked them very much to see what are we doing that could be done better and what aren't we doing that we can bring on board. And this may be little things like replacing straws in the drinks that people have by the pool, making it metal rather than plastic. It may be, as we've done in Kandara, getting rid of plastic water bottles and instead giving every client that comes to stay with us a metal sort of water container and having around the resort water dispensers so you can top up. It may be when we're constructing, making sure that we're designing it in such a way to minimize air conditioning by using natural through flow of air. It may be in designing the materials we use. So there's going to be a whole host of things that we are going to be embarking on to see what we can do from a sustainability and eco-awareness point of view. And this is very much what I hope that yourselves, whether it be my colleagues that work with me, whether it be clients that are part of our clubs, we're very keen on getting your involvement and your assistance so that we can all help on the sustainability platform. Also, what I'm very positive on this year is philanthropy. Over the years, we have supported a lot of charities, including Crystal House in India, Bali Life in Bali, and I believe very strongly that it's had a positive impact, not on just those charities, but on the working environment that we have internally as a company. So this year, again, we're having a big focus on philanthropy. We are going to be starting our own foundation. We're going to be going a little more outhouse with the charities and causes that we support and sponsor. And so again, we're going to be looking at how we can help the local communities, how we can help the environment. And to a certain extent, philanthropy and sustainability can cross over in some respects. One thing that we are doing immediately, and whether you put this under philanthropy or sustainability, is we are going to be investing very heavily in replanting trees, in reforestation. And in a lot of the areas that we operate, whether it be in Australia, which has had terrible bushfires recently, whether it be in Indonesia, where there's been mass clearing for logging and illegal sort of burning of forests, whether it be in India, there's a lot of areas that we actually are where there are issues with deforestation. And so we are on a daily basis going to be committing an amount of money for various reasons to plant hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of trees this year. So we're very keen on initiatives like this. The other thing which we are going to be spending time and effort on is health. It's obviously, I still feel 21, but maybe I'm slightly older than that. And many of the people that work with us or clients of ours are also getting slightly older in life. And I think it's very important that we all focus both individually and as a collective of people on how we can all increase our health. Internally, we're running all sorts of contests and programs for members of staff. We're going to be investing heavily in new gyms. We're going to be bringing nutritionists on. We're going to be looking at ways that we can all help to maybe live a bit longer and, as well as be successful at what we do, be healthy and happy at the same time. So, a lot of things happening, as always. I'm tremendously excited about the way forward. I use the term 2020 vision. Might sound a bit glib or corporate, but it very much is a time, I think, that we can look back on the 27 years and we've seen great success, and we can look forward at this juncture. It's now the 20s, and I see enormous opportunities in the next few years. I'm excited about what we're going to do. I think from a basic point of view, we're going to create lots of new memberships, we're going to build lots of resorts, and we're going to have lots of fun. And I very much look forward to sharing that journey with all of you, whether you'll be a colleague that I work with, whether you be one of our owners, or maybe you watch this one of our new owners. It's been exciting 26 years, and it's going to be very exciting in the next few years. I look forward to seeing you all for a beer sometime.